Okay, so welcome to this pick a card reading on the subject of your next big career blessing. I've shuffled the cards. I've divided them into 3 piles. If you chose card number 1, your main card, I'm just choosing a main card to focus on for each group. Yours was the Hierophant. So your next big blessing in career, it feels as if you are going to find something that you are going to be happy to commit to, not just something that you are being asked to commit to by external forces. It feels very much as if this is a part of your divine plan, the universal plan for your life, because it's a major arcana. So the Hierophant is really leading you to the highest vision for your life purpose, the work that you really came here to do, and asking you to commit to that. The Hierophant is also seen as a spiritual teacher, although sometimes, it's seen as a traditionally religious figure. It can also be a symbol of someone who gives very wise advice, very wise counsel, someone who's able to be there in an advisory capacity for others. So one of your big blessings that's coming next is that you're actually going to start to acknowledge who you really are, your role as a teacher, a spiritual teacher, and you're going to start stepping into that role. So let's have a look at the past. So something that's really important to you, and it's become important as a result of various experiences that you've had in life, various ups and downs that you've had, is your sense of autonomy, sense of being independent, sense of really being able to be in charge of your world and to live life on your own terms. It's been very important for you to acquire a certain level of abundance, a certain level of financial freedom, and also accomplishment within a particular career path. And it's as if you've pursued that for a few years now, possibly even, longer, like a decade or so. But it's as if you've come to a point where something else is calling you. There's something it's like this fiery sense of purpose, this sense of being magnanimous, feeling that you have more to give, wanting to give more to others, wanting to share more of your being, your essence, your heart, in what you've learnt in life. So this is one of the things that's also leading you forward on this new path. And it's not actually a new path necessarily. For some of you, it will be a path that you've abandoned, a path that you have tried to pursue before, and then it just became, it got sticky, or it seemed as if it was unrealistic, or you felt as if you needed to take stock and get some stability for a while and just get really grounded in the world and create more of a sense of empowerment within yourself. And now you have that, and it almost feels as if that could be a part of your mission as well, showing others how to do that, how to achieve that kind of balance. So going forward, it looks as if you're quite uncertain about this path, which is understandable. It's understandable when you're doing anything new, but especially when it's something that maybe you've tried before in the past and it didn't evolve exactly in the way that you hoped it would, or as quickly as you'd hoped it would. Maybe you felt as if time was running out and things, weren't sort of picking up quickly enough, and you started to panic, and then you had to go and do this other work, or maybe you were trying to do both at once, but it became really exhausting, and it feels as if you've got some of those thoughts replaying in your mind again. Well, how is it going to be possible this time? It didn't work the last time. But you've got to remember that you've learnt an awful lot since then. See yourself as a student of life rather than someone who can either succeed or fail. It's, try to take less of a binary attitude towards that. It's not so cut and dried, so black and white. You're learning something every time you take a new step. You're always learning, always growing. So it's not so much a question of, can I do it? Can I make a success of it? It's more a question of, how can I not do it? Because it's such a strong, powerful, burning impulse inside. But also, you've got those more grounded skills and attitudes now where you've learnt some of the things that you need to take into consideration before you start a new venture. You've learned how to do things in a more grounded way. It's possible that you've even actually prepared the way by giving yourself the resources, the backing, the stability, the foundation that you need to go forward. So you're being asked to trust that. It's possible that you've got news coming in as well. You've got the Page of Pentacles, which is always, what is quite often seen as the student, but it can also be news of a material nature. So there's something in the advice and in the looking to the future that's saying to you, trust what you know, start sending messages out, start finding out, putting the feelers out, trying to see what sort of collaborations you could start, what sort of help, what sort of assistance you could get. Are there grants or any kind of backing that you could get? Maybe you're actually thinking of a new study path that's going to actually give you, going back to the Hierophant, maybe there's a new study path that's going to give you more of an established framework, what feels to you like more of a traditional framework. So let's say, for example, you were doing intuitive readings before, or a healing modality, and maybe now you're considering going to do a course in psychotherapy or one of the other modalities within the traditional medical setting. It feels as if you could have a really strong interest in mental health. You've got, I'm just picking a couple of oracle cards here. So you've got all is well. And I feel that as I pick that card, it's not only telling you that all is well, but I feel as if you've developed this really compassionate nature, this real warmth, this real sense of wanting to give something back. And that nature, there's something in your energy now that almost gives people that feeling that everything's going to be okay, everything's fine. There's something about the way that you are with people that sort of makes this a very natural course for you. For some people, it will simply be that you're bringing your career into better alignment with something that gives you a stronger sense of purpose, something that you feel now, I can actually really commit to this. I believe in this more than the other philosophy. So it's as if you've spent a lot of time focusing on your material reality, but you've realized there's something else that is much more important to you that you can actually get behind with more enthusiasm, with more excitement. It could be that some of you have been finding that things are a bit dreary at the moment. It's hard to get out of bed in the morning, and it just feels as if everything's a bit lackluster and life's just sort of plodding along. And it's time for a change. And you've been asking for answers. You've been wondering about taking this new path. And it's almost as if the universe is saying to you, you know what you need to do. You know it's time for a change. If you are already on the cusp of change, just stay grounded and start doing some research, start sending out some letters, emails, whatever it is that you need to do to find out how to go forward steadily. That's going to be the best course for you. Not to do anything rash. You've got the Nine of Pentacles that you're standing on, in the past, and you've got the Page of Pentacles going forward. This is about taking a very grounded approach. And as I look at that, you've also got the Queen of Wands, and I feel there's this real passion to do something, to get something moving, to take care of people, to be creative in the world, to do something of more of a spiritual or creative nature. And you have to learn how to kind of temper that enthusiasm slightly as you put together a plan, maybe even a business plan. That I know that can sound really boring when you just want to get up and running, but it's more for you to sit down and think through, what do I need? How much of it do I need? How long do I need it for? And will it give me enough of a stable foundation to build on going forward? And then the next blessing for you is actually going to be that you feel your enthusiasm coming back. You feel your excitement about life coming back. You feel that it's actually easy to wake up in the morning, that it's actually a joy, that your work is much more fun. But you need to start prioritizing. You need to start being really clear about what you need to do next, the order of things that you need to do, and what you need to do. What resources you need to actually put your highest priorities into action. So I'm going to pick some more cards, and I'm just going to ask, what else does group number 1 need to know going forward about this blessing of finding real meaning in life, something they can commit to? Right, I've heard stop. Okay, I'm going to pick 3 cards. Yeah, you've got death. Something needs to come to an end. So this is a very powerful period of transformation. That's just the perfect card to have there. That, if you're holding back and thinking, I can put this off a bit longer. I can put it off a few more weeks or a few more months or maybe even a few more years and just wait till I've got a little bit more stability. It feels as if that actually might be taken out of your hands at some point. So in other words, and that's not anything to panic about, you already know the writing's on the wall. For some of you, there's already a situation that's unstable that you've been holding on to and not going forward. So this isn't something that's coming as a surprise. It's just saying, there are certain things that need to end, that they need to end in order for you to become the highest, greatest version of yourself. You have a lot of spiritual understanding. You need to lean on that understanding, but you also need to share that understanding with others. And you also need to be able to connect with your guides more and allow them to bring even more spiritual understanding and higher guidance through you. And sometimes that means that some things will have to end that we've been holding on to because they're holding us back, or they're just not kind of supporting and facilitating our growth. Okay, you've also got the 2 of Cups. So it's highly likely that there is a partnership of some kind that could come in to help you, to support you. Perhaps someone you could work with, because this is a career reading, but it could be someone that you're involved with as well, or someone you just have a really strong affinity with that you can partner with, either to do some teaching or to do some studying or to come up with a plan together. It could just be that you feel that you do have a partner around you who's very supportive of your aims and your goals, and you need to really sort of accept support from that partnership for a while you get that clarity, while you figure things out. If there's anything or anyone around you that you're not so sure about in relation to that partnership, you're being asked to just be really aware that there might be some influences around you that are not for your highest good, that could actually interfere with you seeing an important partnership that could be around you, seeing something that could be very harmonious, either in business or as a new partnership. But I think because this is a career reading, I'm going to say this is a possible partnership, and you have to guard against being too independent, because it's really important to do that and to get that stability and to have autonomy and to be able to stand on your own. But sometimes we can become guarded and we're not always able to see help that's being offered, or to move into healthy collaborations that could actually work out really well. So there's an old proverb, I think it's an old African proverb, that says, if you want to go far, no, if you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Something like that. So sometimes we can go a lot further with someone else or a group of other people with us on our team, supporting us, collaborating with us. And that's something else for you to look forward to, or to look out for going forward to group number 1. But it looks as if, your main blessing is going to be really committing to something that you find worthwhile, worth committing to. Okay, that's it. Let me know if you chose this group, whether that resonated for you, what your plans are, what you're thinking of doing, and if you found that helpful. And if you found it helpful, yeah, comment and please like the video so we can start becoming more visible. Thanks. Okay, group number 2, welcome to your reading and your next main career blessing. So, your main card is the 7 of Swords in reverse. So, the next blessing that's coming for you, group number 2, is that if you've had any concerns in your work, in an established workplace or in a career, whether you work for yourself or you work for someone else, if you've had any doubts, any fears about some kind of deception, some kind of theft, about not getting the most out of what you're doing, not getting what you really deserve, then you're coming into a period, your next blessing is going to be where you actually start to gain the recognition that you truly deserve, where you start to realize that you haven't actually lost anything, that you haven't, the things that you thought had been taken from you have not been taken from you after all, and your position is actually more secure than you realize. So it's as if there's been some kind of threat in in your work, some kind of competition, someone thinking that they have the upper hand in some sense, and it's been playing on your mind for a long time. Or it's as if you feel you should have fought a bit harder for something, but you didn't. And you're very concerned about what that's going to mean for you going forward. But you're being told that it's not as bad as you actually think it is, that you actually have been quite clever, you've been quite calm, you've protected yourself by staying calm, you've protected yourself by just keeping a cool head and not allowing yourself to get drawn into anyone else's drama. You haven't gotten drawn into other people's deception. You haven't felt that you needed to fight back, in an aggressive, a vindictive way. You just kept yourself calm, and you understood that things would actually work out in your favor if you just stayed on the right path and in the right consciousness. You did everything that you needed to do. You stepped back. You stayed in good standing with yourself and with your own principles. And your next blessing is going to be that you're actually going to be rewarded in some way for just sticking to your guns in terms of your own personal standards, your own personal ethics. And you're going to start to see that, people around you who thought that they were being very stealthy, very clever, it's almost as if there was some sort of, not just a betrayal, but it could have been people gossiping, people trying to present you in the wrong sort of light, things that you felt you had no control over, like how is no one seeing this, that kind of energy. And it looks as if that's actually not going to turn out the way that you thought it would, because we've got this in the situation, in the location of your main blessing. It means that isn't actually going to turn out the way you thought it would. So yeah, justice is very important for you. Looking back in the past, it feels as if you've had other challenging situations like this. You've had a lot of ups and downs in career, but you've had situations in the past that have turned out in your favor. It feels as if you've got a lot of good work karma, but you've possibly also got this weird karma where people will just try doing things to upset you. It's as if you have a lot of personal power, you have a lot of strength, a lot of aptitude, a lot of ability in your work, and sometimes that threatens people. So you've had to overcome this before. You've had to overcome something similar, but you're actually moving into a very triumphant phase. You're actually moving into an incredible phase. The only warning here is try to remember your creativity. Try to remember that, even when you get caught up in all of these external world dilemmas and contradictions and other people's agendas and things like that, try to remember that you're in that world but not of it. it's as if you're doing something and it's not actually entirely your character to be doing that sort of work. It's almost as if there's some creative thing that you really want to be doing. There's some other vision that you have, but you're in this because you kind of have to on the practical level at the moment. And so it can feel a bit vulnerable sometimes when you end up in these situations, but you always tend to handle them in just the right way. And that's what keeps you safe, is actually your nature that keeps you safe, that protects you from that sort of, corporate-ish, all those shenanigans. So going forward, what you're being asked to do is to just keep a really positive attitude. Nothing's been taken from you. You haven't lost anything. You're moving into a great phase, but it's only going to be a great phase if you remember who you are and you acknowledge your creativity. It feels as if there is a part of you that is longing for a career transition. So even though, you're going to win out in this situation, it's almost as if there's something about this whole episode that leaves you feeling a bit jaded and thinking, I just need to take stock. I need to clear my mind, maybe do some space clearing, maybe do some downsizing, maybe, just change my life completely. Just figure out, who am I really? What do I really want out of life? What's really important to me? That sort of energy. It's like, yeah, you might have achieved a victory, but are you happy? Are you really still thriving? Are you doing what you really, really feel in your heart you want to be doing with your life? So this is a really important time of necessary evaluation, checking in with yourself, asking yourself, because it's not a question of what if I hadn't won. Part of you already always knew you were going to win, because there was just there was nothing, whatever it was that was coming against you was based on nothing. At the same time, it's left you feeling a bit jaded because it's just not the kind of energy that you want to be in. Generally, it's just not your vibe. It's not who you really are. So you're being asked to reconnect with who you really are. There's a lot of harmony coming around you. You have Archangel Raguel working with you, just bringing relationship harmony into your life, into your space, just as an extra support for you, because, it's been a tricky time. You've been through a lot. You're emerging, and you're being asked to be very, very gentle with yourself. You also may be becoming increasingly aware of some gifts that you have that you weren't aware of before, or maybe you were sort of aware of them, but you hadn't taken them that seriously. So, intuitive gifts, it could be anything from intuitive gifts, psychic gifts, to creative gifts that we mentioned before, things that you need to explore a little bit more if you are to be completely and entirely yourself. So let's see what other blessings are coming for you. Group number 2, coming for you in the near future. Okay, great. I've just heard stop. So what career blessings do you have? Okay. Oh, that's amazing. Right. So you have the King of Wands. You have opportunities to really feel comfortable with who you are, with the choices you've made, with the creativity that you're using, or that that you could use, establishing new business enterprises, feeling as if you're really kind of sitting in a good position, in a good place, having lots to celebrate. You've got the King of Wands, you've got the world, you've got the Three of Cups. So it looks as if, and this is right next to your Ace of Wands in reverse, which is, creativity turned in on itself, creativity that's not being used or expressed. So what that's saying is, if you do decide to use that creativity, and no one's telling you to abandon practicality or pragmatism or any of those things, you're just being asked, you've got career transition. It's a change. It's a gradual change sometimes. Your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. So it's your life purpose that's triggering this change. It's like a yearning from inside to do what you really feel capable of building something powerful and creative on, that motivation that takes you forward, that takes you into new places, into a new world. It's possible that you're even thinking of a new travel adventure, or that you've just experienced one, because that world card is looking really bright in this reading for some reason. It could be that you're considering it, and that you know that moving to another place is going to inspire you to do something else, just because the change, moving away from these other horrid possibilities, moving away from things in the past that didn't quite work out, just moving into your place in the sun. You've got the sun card right next to the Ace of Swords. It's like it's a time of victory. It's a time to put the past behind you, but you have to do that. Only you can do that. It's up to you to take that mentality. You can't keep going forward thinking things are always going to be bleak for me, or things are just going to be great for a while and then they're going to become rubbish again. These are just patterns. These are just habitual ways of thinking. If you find yourself even going into that slightly, I would definitely recommend that you do some kind of a process that helps you to start challenging any limiting beliefs that you have. When we talk about limiting beliefs, sometimes it sounds like a criticism. It's not a criticism. It's an opportunity to grow, because if you become aware of what they are, then you can change them, because these are just thoughts. Thoughts we have control over. We can change the way we think. We might sometimes not believe that we can change our external circumstances, but we can definitely change the way we think. And once we begin to change the way we think, we do start to attract different circumstances to us. We do start to attract better things, even if it's only out of the sense that we begin to project energetically and in our personality, in our way of standing, walking, talking, addressing people, standing up for ourselves, being in the world. We start to project, I am someone who is worthy of good things. I expect good things. I expect good things to happen. So, because everything starts with a thought, everything starts with the way that we think, and you're being asked to take on more of a celebratory mindset, looking at this Three of Cups, a mindset that says to you, yes, I have been through the worst now. I've come through some difficult times, but this is my time now. This is my time to put all of that behind me, to put my best foot forward, to start moving towards the sun, start moving towards better times, happier times. Let's see what else we've got. Yeah, you've got the Four of Wands. You've got happy home situation developing gradually over time, or it's possibly already there, but you're going to start to be able to appreciate it that much more. You're going to stop feeling so much as if you've been defeated by things in the past, and you're going to start focusing on even looking back on the past at things that were good, things that were fun, things that were nice, maybe reminiscing, looking back on old relationships in the past. If you're actually single, it could be that you go back to someone in the past, or if you're already coupled with someone, it could be that you just have very fond memories of how you've come through things together with that person, supporting you through the difficult times and always being by your side. This isn't a love reading though, so we're not going to go too much into that. I will be doing a love reading at some point, but this is really just an opportunity for you to say, I'm going to move into better times now. I'm going to let myself. It feels as if water is going to be quite important for you as well. It could be that you just love being by water. It could be that you have you feel you have a lot to clear out of your energy. And even if you don't think in those terms, it could be that you've just been naturally drawn to be by the sea, or to be, you taking more showers, or you want to be by a river, or because you have a sense of the cleansing power of water on an energetic vibrational level, and you want to just wash the past off you. You could be someone who does that, actually, who visualizes light when you're in the shower or in the bath. If you don't do that, try doing it, because it is quite miraculous. It's an incredible practice to do. So that's it, group number 2. I hope you enjoyed your reading. Your main blessing is going to be knowing that you have triumphed over so many challenging times, and it is time for you to walk into a better future now. And another one of your big career blessings is going to be allowing yourself to go through a transition that possibly brings you to a much more creative time in your career life. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Let me know what you liked about it, how it resonated, what you're planning to do, which bits were correct, which bits made sense for you, and how you found it helpful. Okay, and also, obviously, please go ahead and give it a like if you really liked it. All right, group number 2, good luck with everything. Bye. Okay, hi, group number 3, and welcome to your reading, your next big blessing in career. So, I have for you, group number 3, a very interesting card. I found this really inspiring. You've got the 5 of Pentacles, but in reverse. So, I feel for you, your next big blessing is going to be leaving behind that feeling of always struggling, being impoverished, being left out in the cold, things not quite going the way that you want them to, feeling as if you're crying out for help, but there's no one there to help you, or you can't see where the help's coming from. So your next big blessing in career, if you are actually out of work, for example, it could be that you're just about to find work. If your business has been struggling, it could be that you're about to find some solutions or get some kind of inspiration, some ideas that help you to see a way of moving forward. So it's going to be a really interesting time for you coming up, going forward now, group number 3. So let's see what else you've got. In the past, you've got the High Priestess. So lots of hidden knowledge, secrets. It could be secrets. It could be actual spiritual knowledge. It could be you learning to trust your intuition. So it could be that you've had some very interesting experiences. Let's just see, why is the High Priestess here in regard to business? Why is the High Priestess here? So we're looking at what you need to know about why things are going to start turning around. And we're looking at your past. We're looking at the High Priestess. What does that mean? Right. Thank you. Okay. So in the past, so we've got the 4 of Cups. So in the past, you've had a lot of things offered to you that you've just not been sure about, and it's possible that you've sort of walked into them anyway, because we're trying to look at how you got into this situation of things being a bit struggly. You possibly have learnt the hard way to trust your intuition, because it's possible that you took things that you are now challenged by, in that you knew back then, you knew at first that they weren't what you really wanted. They weren't what your heart was calling out for. They weren't going to inspire and uplift you. You were going to find them boring. And sure enough, you became bored. You became, when we're not really inspired by what we're doing, it's hard sometimes to put the extra effort in that's needed to create success. So this is why it's important to do something that you feel a certain amount of passion for. So yeah, it's possible that looking back in the past, you actually understand where you made a few choices that weren't quite the right ones, where you jumped in, where you took something that maybe wasn't quite right, even though you knew in your heart at the time it wasn't quite right. Also, be careful not to be distracted by love, by romance, by relationships, because it's something else that can sometimes throw you off your path. That there are times when you just need to focus on moving your career forward, but there's an interesting offer comes along in other areas of life, and sometimes we get a bit distracted. But it's also possible that this Knight of Cups is just an offer that comes out of the blue, another offer that comes, and you don't take the offer that looks like something really exciting and amazing. You take the offer that looks really boring, because it's steady and it's stable and secure, and now it's possible that you've actually begun to regret that, because that offer has turned out not to be as stable and secure as it seemed at the time, and it hasn't offered you, the stability that you thought it would. So where you are right now is you're going through a period of rebirth, renewal. You've got the Judgment. You are going through a massive awakening where you're beginning to realize that actually some of those decisions that you took in the past, to do something that you thought would bring you more stability, they are really not working for you, and you have to just open up your heart again and walk into the truth of absolutely exactly what it is you want to do, that you find really exciting, that you find really plugs you into the divine flow, or whatever words you'd use to describe it, something that really makes you feel like it's the right thing. So you're waking up to all these possibilities, and your next biggest blessing is going to be what comes after this awakening, this current awakening that actually allows you to create the success that you deserve. You've got the King of Pentacles in your future, which is business acumen, enterprising spirit. But more than that, the enterprising spirit, that's more the King of Wands. But this is real established success in business, really knowing how to move forward and how to invest, what to do with your money, how to make it grow, how to move forward with strategy and with careful planning and knowledge and real business wisdom. So that's what's coming for you. And you need to balance that with a tendency to be a little bit emotional. The Queen of Cups can also be very intuitive. So you've got the Queen of Cups, you've in the future, and you've also got the High Priestess in the past. So it's as if that's a big life lesson for you in this incarnation, is learning to trust your intuition and to trust what you really, really feel and know to be true about who you are, about what's right for you, about what works for you, about what's going to keep you inspired, and about what life itself is requiring of you in order to become fully expressed, living your purpose. So I'm going to choose a few more cards for you, and I'm going to ask, what else does group number 3 need to know about how to turn their fortunes around and to come out of the cold and come out of the struggle? Okay. Okay, so you've got the Three of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and you've got the Nine of Pentacles. So these cards all look very female to me. So if you are a female watching this reading, I would say this is about trusting yourself as someone who is capable of becoming empowered, and using some of your other kinds of energy. So seeing yourself as a strong female, and not character, seeing yourself as a strong woman, basically, seeing yourself as someone who can achieve incredible things, rather than seeing yourself as someone who's weak, who's oversensitive, who's going to make mistakes again, or who needs someone to prop her up. There seem to be a couple of different themes in this reading. One is this lack of female empowerment and this tendency towards dreaminess and not trusting the not trusting the intuition, just being very just being over emotional. And then on the other hand, there's this real empowerment and this potential for being very, very intuitive, divine feminine, very, very much connected to your intuition and the forces that are trying to move you forward towards independence. You've got the King of Swords as well, and you've got the Death card right next to it. And I'm wondering whether there is some kind of a connection, relationship that needs to end in order for you to feel fully empowered. I have to say also, for the guys listening, if group number 3, if you're a male, it's possible for you that you need to tap more into your feminine side, that you need to connect more with your ability to trust your intuition and to be led more by what you feel than what you think. And that's going to actually help you and guide you in making business decisions going forward. So that said, this King of Swords next to the Death card, that King of Swords, it could be, let's just say it's any sword person that you might be involved with that you feel could be, I don't know, it's the position that it's come out in. It just seems to be creating some kind of an obstacle. It just seems to be a bit troublesome. So it could be an air sign. It could be an Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini, or it could just be someone who is very logical like that, who is very quick to put you down, very quick to cast aspersions and doubts over what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. And it could be that you need to start reconsidering that alliance or finding a way to move towards people who support you, people who really do hold space for that greatness in you, people who hold up the pretty mirror, as I've started to say recently. You know, there are awful mirrors that you can see sometimes. You know, sometimes there's those awful fairground mirrors that just make everything and everyone look distorted. Sometimes you go into the changing rooms in a shop and the mirrors make you look hideous, or that's how it seems. And then sometimes there's just a pretty mirror. It's like those cameras that are really, really flattering. Some just are and some just aren't. And it can be like that with people sometimes, that there are people who will just show you all the flaws in everything that you're doing or trying to do in your life. And there will be people who will hold up the pretty mirror that will show you what's great about you and what you're capable of achieving in life. You've also got the Eight of Swords, so it's highly likely that you feel as if you've been trapped. But another great blessing coming through is that you are going to start to release yourself from any bondage that's kept you in poverty. So this story is building up, looking quite interesting. It feels as if you could actually have felt at some points that some kind of alliance has kept you in a stuck place, has kept you in a place where you feel you can't move forward, you can't create real stability for yourself, you can't generate the income that you want to or need to. And you're being reminded that this is a state of mind, you know? You're not really trapped. You're actually free, but it's possible that your mind is so caught up in everything that's happening that you don't actually have the clarity or the inspiration yet to see exactly why it is that you're not trapped. You're free to go. You have support around you that you haven't seen yet, or you haven't quite understood as support. Let's give you some oracle cards now. What else do you need? Life review. So you could be looking at everything in your life, taking complete inventory. Yeah, it's amazing to have life review and judgment. So this is a real awakening, a real renewal, a chance for renewal, for soul renewal going forward, for really moving away from that feeling of struggle, of being that person and becoming someone else. Spread your wings. Don't hold back right now. The time is perfect and you are ready to soar. So it's definitely a card that's asking you to, a reading, a spread that's asking you to be courageous, to stand up for yourself, stand up for your beliefs, to move into the lightness and the success that you deserve. Let's see what other oracle cards we have. Prioritize, focus on your highest priority. Okay, so ask Archangel Metatron to help you to focus on your highest priorities and to fulfill your true mission in this life. I'm going to see what else. I'm going to see if I can get another oracle card for group 3. Okay. Yeah. Group 3, you actually have the card that says courage. Be courageous and stand up for your beliefs. And then you have life review. Again, take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that's unbalanced. And then you have, again, spread your wings. If you could see this, if I was doing this on camera, you'd see the visuals. It's quite bizarre. And then you have prioritize again. Yeah. So, and I did shuffle the cards. So, you know, the universe is in agreement that this is the message that you need, and is quite being quite insistent on that it's time for you to take an inventory of everything in your life that as it relates to your success or lack of it up to this point, your biggest blessing is going to be your ability to take control, to have courage, to turn things around completely, to come in out of the cold and to make a new start, to move away from anything that limits you and to start to actually create the success you deserve. I want to get a few more tarot cards now to see what is the outlook if this is a group number 3 member who is in a situation where they feel trapped by circumstances, trapped by a relationship, trapped by the wrong job, trapped in the wrong consciousness. What do they need to know if they're in any of those situations? Right, I'm going to pick 3 cards, past, present and future. The past, the Page of Wands inverted, the Magician inverted for the present. Going forward, the Knight of Wands. Oh, great. And then the 2 of Cups. So, interesting. Very interesting. Page of Wands in reverse. So, Page of Wands, very hopeful, very optimistic, setting out on a new path, a new venture, a new creative venture, or a new business venture. And then it's inverted. So it's almost like, oh God, everything I try just falls apart. When am I going to get a break? When does something good actually get to happen to me? Page of Wands can also be a messenger of some kind, like a message coming. It can be very lucky, but if it's in reverse, it's not necessarily a good thing because it can be a message that never gets to you. Like good news never quite manages to arrive to you, or the right person, the right partner, the right situation. It just doesn't seem to work out. It doesn't seem to come along because the Page of Wands can be a lover as well. So just a lot of disappointments in that respect in the past. And the Magician in reverse, it's like you need to access your magic again. You've stopped believing that you actually have the ability to manifest, to make things happen because there have been so many disappointments in the past, and you are being asked to get your confidence back. You have all the tools that you need to create the life you deserve. You have all the tools you need to create the life you deserve. Right, the way that they're giving that to me now, I feel that that's an affirmation for you. The thing with affirmations is if you try to overwhelm yourself with too many affirmations, sometimes it just gets confusing. The mind doesn't know what to think or when to think it. If you stick with one, you can actually get results. It's quite astounding. It feels as if a good affirmation for you could be, I have all the tools I need to create the life I deserve. I have all the tools I need to create the life I deserve. I have all the tools I need to create the life I deserve. Write that down 50 times a day. What is it? 5 times 50. 50 times for 5 days in a row and see what happens. So, group number 3, going forward, you have the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands, that's more optimistic. That's movement. That's things taking flight. That's things moving forward. Could be a change of residence, or it could just be you saying, right, I'm done. I've had enough of this whole consciousness. I've had enough of this way of living. I've had enough of this way of thinking. I'm going to make things happen. I'm going to change things. I'm going to start to believe that I have the tools I need to create the life I deserve. And I'm actually going to make things happen. And then going further into the future, you have a really nice partnership. And it's not a love reading, so I'm not going to commit in this context to that being a love partnership, but it could be. It's either, as it's a career reading, it's either a really good harmonious career partnership, partnering with someone or coming together with a group, or it is a partner who actually supports you and supports your success. Group number 3. I hope you found that helpful. And if you're already in a situation where you have a partner who supports you, who supports your success, this could be other people. It could be family members. It could be just anything. It could be your thoughts, your attitudes. It could be feeling that you failed in the past. It could just be that. It could be just a mindset that's been stopping you, blocking you, making you feel trapped within that consciousness, unable to escape that way of thinking. So use the affirmation, use what's been given, in this reading and start breaking yourself free from that consciousness and moving yourself forward. And if you would like to work with me, I do a lot of work on changing beliefs and energy clearing and healing those patterns as well. So feel free to get in touch. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I hope you got something from this reading. Please comment below and let me know if it resonated, how it resonated, what you're planning to do with this news and with these tools, and how you're going to find this helpful going forward. Okay, take care, and thanks for listening. Bye.